walkthrough of the Coldbrook modified diamond interchange, I guess, in Coldbrook. So this location here is a bit, most people are going straight, but as soon as like one or two large vehicles are going left, it kind of messes things up. Allegedly there's a roundabout going on the far side there, so that might help things out a bit. No crosswalks. So yeah, I guess this side of the intersection will remain. So we have a lagging left that works with a couple overlaps. This lags as well. We got phase 4 green. Phase 4 green. There's a couple of follow-through phases. So this is gapping out now. This gets an advanced green. That basically clears the queue. Might have to be extended. Then phase 8 gets a green. And when phase 8 is green, there's overlaps happening in the background. The left turn arrow stays on over multiple phases because it's an overlap. So basically, 8 will gap out, or I guess terminates. And then 1, once it becomes phase 1, it just helps clear the queue, and then it will go back to permissive 2 and 6. So there's your leading, or lagging left. Follow through phase to clear the queue. Phase 4 comes on. Lagging left stays green. I'll show you what's happening in the background. Gaps out together. Green. That's already flashing green as 4 terminates. Helps clear anything out in the middle at the beginning. So then we got 8. Eight will gap out. Red. That goes back to green. Now it's phase 1, and then it terminates. And then 2's green. And then it will be back to 2 and 6. So, if this call drops, the only way phase 5 can come up is if there's a call on phase 4, and then it calls. That's a delay for half a second, then turns on logic flag 1. Logic flag 1 calls phase 5 before everything terminates. And it can't resurface phase 6 once it commits to phase 5. When phase 5 is on, it will operate for 6 seconds to clear everybody out, and then it will force off phase 2. So that person gets the light, boom, phase 5 is on. That terminates, that's a force off. So if there's timing left, it will actually force that phase off, so it doesn't serve phase 6, and it has to serve phase 4 now. So that will stay. These cars will come. Some of them are going straight. So now 4 is probably gonna terminate, or that person probably ran a red, so they're probably gonna miss this light. We'll see. They'll make it. max out, 8. And I also have red extend here as well, so if people run the red, it will extend everything up to an extra second. This queue is pretty long, so I'll show you what's going on in the cabinet. You can see 8 and 13 is on. So when 8 terminates, it will max out. 1 and 6 will come on. For the 2 seconds, 1 terminates, brings back up 2. And you can see 4 is on. So it calls phase 5 with logic flag 1. The max times will slightly differ, but it all kind of works out in the end. But 45, I don't have any dynamic max for 2 and 6 just because it messes things up. So I just kind of left it at the standard max time. So there you go, 6 terminates, brings up phase 5. You saw the E come up there for extend. Force is off, phase 2, but it already maxed out anyway. Brings up 4 and 11. And then it has to bring up 10 in the middle. Sorry, I cut off there. So actually, in this setup here, you see there's no call on phase 4. Oh, there's the call there. So sometimes it can skip right to phase 8. Basically, it will reserve phase 1 movement. Logic 1 and 2 on. Force is off. Yes, it should. So sorry. So 11, 4 and 11 come on, and then it will emit 8, but it forces the controller to bring up phase 10 first. So that call is constant. So 4 will gap out. 10 comes on, so overlap 9, which is the phase 1 left turn, comes on, so it's your double clearance. Then 8 is called, 10 and 11 terminate, 13 comes up with 8. And that just allows the phase 1, or sorry, the phase 9, overlap 9, phase 1 left turn overlap to operate correctly. Back up to 1 and 6, terminates, then back to 2, and then everything's omitted. So you can see there's also another call on 4, so 5 will come back up again. So if that phase 6 call drops prematurely, though, it will bring up phase 5 and it will commit to the call. So it would basically be like dropping a standard call in general, but it always holds phase 2 for that extra few seconds to at least get the cars moving. So it's just like a more complex like single point urban interchange kind of setup, but also not. It's like split phase for the ramps. It's a very odd setup. This is the only program like this. So there goes 2 and 5, but the inside overlaps are still operating. So this can also reserve phase 4 from phase 8. It isn't common. It would be more of a program, or I guess, sorry, a sequence that would occur like at night during like off-peak hours. If 8 and 13 are on and there's a call on 4 but no call on 2 and 6, it will actually call phase 16. And then 16, it's kind of like that 10 and 11 inside double clearance, but it just works in reverse. Yeah, so I think it brings up like 13 and 16, and then it will recall phase 4 and basically lead this instead of lagging it because it's bringing it back up, and clears that side, reserves 4, but then as soon as the calls drop, it's a no rest phase, so it will clear back to 2 and 6. So if there's no call in phase 8, it will just drop and go back to 2 and 6, or if somebody comes back to 8, it will recall 8, but then it will force a call to 1, and then it will basically just rest back in 2 and 6. We won't see that today, but I could probably give an example in the shop when I have this program kind of operating in an isolated environment. But yeah, just basically logic programs to call up different phases during different parts of the sequence, but yeah. And it all runs on the 656 for the detection. There you go.